Where are you on 9/11?
So this is I was in Fort Polk, Louisiana at
So already in the Army.
Yeah, I was doing what's Fort Polk? Is that JRTC? Yeah, JRTC, not JROTC, JRTC. I was doing a rotation with an ODA down there. I was augmenting a dive team, and we did a helocast in the Pearl River, which is just outside of on the Alabama-Louisiana border. Did it with 160th, jumped in the river, took Zodiacs up the river, and did a recon of a facility up there, and it was great. I was having a great time. Well, I was fucking having a blast. I was living in the swamp, like UDT shorts and, eating fucking MREs. Like,
BFAs.
Man, this shit was sick as fuck. Yeah. I was having a great time, man.
M16s with BFAs just running around.
M4s. This is an SF. I mean, I have a little bit of dignity.
Yeah.
And
at least I had an adjustable buttstock, for the love of God.
So we got scooped up on target, and we were in what's called the Prisoner Holding Detention Center, or the PHA, Prisoner Holding Detention facility. And it's out in this barge in the swamp, and I had a military brown T-shirt as a loincloth. I'd made flip-flops out of an MRE box, and I was making dick jokes to my buddy about, man, I don't know what kind of dumbass jokes I was making, but it was super fun, and it was super funny because we were fucking naked and dirty, and we'd be living in a swamp for like 2 weeks, and now we're just in a barge, like floating in the middle of nowhere, and they're putting us through the whole like prisoner detention thing,
Slappy camp,
mini slappy, and instructor walks in. It's like the plane, there are planes that have hit the towers in New York, and we thought it was part of
like, nice try, fucker.
Yeah, and I'm like, yo, dog, like, I'm naked in the swamp, man. Like, what happens in New York? He's like, no, we're out of scenario now. Like, we're putting you guys in vans. We're loading you back up. We're taking you. And I'm like, I'm just kept waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like, this is part of this whole thing. And it wasn't until we got back and no shit, like we got out of the van and went and turned on the news where I was like, oh, this is real. Yeah. And the second I saw the news, it was that day. It was the evening of September 11th, because we had been briefed on Osama bin Laden. We had been briefed on like everything that was going on. We're like, we're going to war. Like, that was the first thing we said. We're going to war. Like, and fifth group technically covered the Middle East, so everybody's like, how the fuck do we get into fifth group? Let's go. Yeah. And but that's like, as soon as we saw that, we're gonna go fucking fist fuck these motherfuckers. Like, it was like,
so by the time you got to the TVs, the towers had fallen.
Oh yeah, it was by that evening. So I was in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. And
it was probably 10 or 11 o'clock at night by the time I got to a TV.
Yeah.
So the towers had gone down. I think President Bush had made a speech or something like that, and we were watching the news. So it was all about, like, now it's time to go get it on.
I was in the Archstone Apartments directly across the road from IKEA in San Diego. Turned the TV on just in time to see the second plane go in live.
Whoa.
So then
yeah,
like maybe within 20 seconds of turning the TV on, the second plane went in live. Like, just enough time to hear him talking about how it was, they couldn't believe there was an accident, and like, essentially, like, how could you hit that tower?
You can't hit that tower.
Yeah. And then the second one went in, and then it was like, watch the cascading fall. It was gnarly. And I knew it was going to change the trajectory, but I didn't. I think, Navy spec war, we were just a different rotation cycle. We were still segmented at that point. Like, Team 5 was a Southwest Asia actual team. Right. I had gone to Korea a bunch of times and done a bunch of training at a good old Foul Eagle exercise that everybody should go to. Fucking 5 years in a row.
Yeah.
God, I turned, I think, 20 on Hooker Hill in Seoul, Korea.
Oh, yeah.
I was drinking, hookers have never, ever been my thing, but yeah, I was drinking in Seoul, Korea on my 20th birthday. But, yeah, it was crazy. And went into work, and nobody, obviously people are like, yeah, revenge is a dish best served cold, but nobody could figure out necessarily how
Yeah.
it was going to go down. It wasn't for me until after I went through selection in 2002, and then the tail end, I think it was October of 2002, I finally set foot over there on a security detail.
Right.
And then went to Iraq before going back
Yeah.
for a kinetic deployment. I think it was in late 03 or early 04 we ended up over there.
Yeah, I was the same.